Hello again, fellow BeachBum traders. Thank you for joining us for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for the trading week of November 27th through December 1st. Where in part 2 of our weekly trading game plan, we'll be selecting our top swing trading stocks to watch, stocks in our bullpen. We'll talk about how to manage your shopping list, and we'll talk about additional opportunities for generating income, including dividend payers and several option strategies, and also additional trade ideas and strategies for making money trading the week of November 27th through December 1st. So let's get started. So here's our Google document with our notes for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for the trading week of November 27th through December 1st. We keep our notes for our weekly trading game plans in publicly accessible Google documents. You can find a direct link to this Google document in the description box below. Our notes contain links to bonus videos, the tools and resources we use to generate our weekly trading game plans. If you haven't already seen part 1 of our weekly trading game plan for this week, titled Cyber Monday Stock Market Deals, we would highly recommend that you also view part 1, as this contains our market analysis, our trade ideas, strategies, and a number of ways to find Cyber Monday stock market deals. So again, we'd highly recommend you also view part 1, as that provides the input data for selecting our top swing trading stocks to watch for this week. We keep all of our weekly trading game plan notes in a publicly accessible Google Drive folder, so you can refer back to the notes for part 1 for this week, as well as the notes from previous weeks, and you can find a direct link to that public Google Drive folder also in the description box below. Welcome to Ricky Kahn, Brian Moritz, Easy Mike. Thank you all for joining us in the live chat today. Hope you and your families are all having a great Thanksgiving Day holiday weekend together. So we didn't make any new trades in the shorted holiday trading week. Low volatility. We will talk about one trade I tried to get into TECS, and we'll look at that. We talked about that yesterday a little bit. However, if you would like to get real-time alerts of when we enter or exit a trade, you can get email notifications when we enter or exit a trade in near real time by joining any level of our Patreon. Again, whenever I enter or exit a trade, I try to post that to our Patreon members, and you get email notification of our entry or exit. Again, I don't ever recommend you blindly follow us or anyone else into or out of trades, but if it would help you make money trading, help you succeed in your trading career, to see when we enter or exit trades, you can get that by joining any level of our Patreon, and you can find a direct link to our Patreon in the description box below and also here in the notes. Also, our Patreon members have access to a couple of alerts channels in our Discord. I have price alerts set up in Thinkorswim. When those get triggered, they get automatically posted to this Thinkorswim channel. In our Discord, you can see when TECL made a new 52-week high. That triggered a price alert, got posted in the Thinkorswim alert channel. Again, I tried to buy TECS. Again, we're using TECL as our trigger for the entry point into TECS, and we'll look at both of those in our watch list in a few minutes. But that didn't quite hit on Wednesday, and then we saw a little bit of a retracement in the technology sector on Friday. Also, if I follow up a price alert, a Thinkorswim price alert with an actual trade, I would reply in that channel. If it's a trade not directly related to a Thinkorswim price alert, then I'll post it in the trade alerts channel, so you can see when we went long on wheat on the 16th. And again, we are still long wheat, waiting for that swing back up. So you can see where I posted that trade in the trade alerts channel. So again, if it would help you see our entries and exits, you can get that by joining any level of our Patreon. Welcome, Gerald Fritz, Sydney Osborne. Thank you for joining us in the chat. Hope you and your family are having a good Thanksgiving holiday weekend. Also, MD, thank you for joining us. So now we'll look at our top swing trading stocks to watch list. Talk about our updates for this week. Don't have a lot of changes. Again, we've been watching land. Land is in a REIT on farmland. As we'll see when we look at the charts in Webull, it's been holding up pretty well, even though the increase in bond yields, increase in mortgage rates, land's held up pretty well. Realty Income Corp is another REIT. It's on pretty broadly diversified. They are also in a partnership with, I think it's DLR, which is a data center REIT as well. So again, well diversified. We've traded both of these profitably numerous times in the past. We'll see if we get a little bit of a retracement, a correction in those REITs or in real estate. If we get a little bit of a continued sector rotation out of real estate, we'll look for entry points in those. And when we get to our dividend payers, we can see their dividend information and their ex-dividend dates. Also been talking about TECS, which is a leveraged short on the broad technology sector. Again, we looked at this and we added this to our technology component screener. We looked at it yesterday. We saw TECL made a new 52-week high. We're using that as a trigger for an entry point into TECS, looking for a sector rotation back out of technology. We saw a little bit of that on Friday. And we'll look for short-term scalping, short-term swing opportunities in TECS. We did a little bit of a deeper analysis into these ETFs, TECL and TECS, a couple weeks ago, and you can see and hear more of that analysis, the composition of these ETFs in this bonus video, and via the link in the notes. Also, just a quick reminder, if you'd like to get more frequent updates to our watch list, including price targets, dividend information, ex-dividend dates, earnings report dates, etc., whether it's optional, etc., we generate a web page at the end of each day, and our Patreon members have access to that web page. Also, if I make any changes after that web page has been generated, I post those in a stock watch list channel in our Discord. And again, our Patreon members have access to this. So if you would like to get more frequent updates to our watch list, including price target information, etc., you can get that via any level of our Patreon. Also, a point that I fail to mention frequently enough is when we publish new videos, or we post those to our Patreon members who get early access to this videos, and then eventually we release them on YouTube. So if you'd like to get early access to our videos like this one on TECL, TECS, and some of the others we'll see in our notes, you can gain all that early access information by joining our Patreon at any level. So now we'll jump over and we'll look at the charts of those in Webull. Welcome, Born to Be Free. Glad to see you. Thank you for joining us. Hope you and your family are having a great Thanksgiving holiday weekend. So I'll grab a drink and then we'll look at those charts in Webull. Okay, here's our main watch list in the online browser version of Webull, containing our top swing trading stocks to watch. Again, land, the ETF on farmland, the REIT on farmland. We see it's been, just kind of holding up, went kind of flat. Again, it's been holding up to the bounces in the bond yields pretty well. If we do get a little bit of a dip back down to one of these lows, again, we would be looking for an entry point back into land. Again, plenty of potential upside. You see it had that nice run up. We made a profit on that previous run up. We see it went ex-dividend on the 17th, so roughly 12/17. We'll see in our dividend payers when the actual next ex-dividend date is. You can see it only pays about 5 cents as the dividend. We trade land more for price appreciation than for the dividend. Similarly with O, Realty Income, we had gone long. We traded this profitably a couple weeks ago, got stopped out, potentially a little prematurely last week. If you're still in O, you can see it's been also holding up. It's been pretty resilient to the fluctuations in the bond yields and the mortgage rates, and it still looks like it's uptrending. If we do get a correction, or if it reacts negatively to the ex-dividend date irrationally, we'd like it below 50 at least, and if not, down to this 45 level. But anywhere below 50 is a pretty good entry point in O. And again, it pays about a 25-cent dividend, but again, we swing it for more of the price appreciation. You see, it's got plenty of upside up to 64. So again, congratulations if you're still in this trade on Realty Income on O. Again, does look like it's approaching that resistance level, but definitely uptrending. So again, in our technology screener yesterday, we looked at TECL. We saw it made this new 52-week high. Looks, it tested that resistance level, got rejected, did dip down a little bit on Friday. If we do get a little bit of a pop in TECL, that is the entry point we're looking for to go long in TECS. I did put an order in. You could see it went down to 1095 on Wednesday. I have an order in, I think, at 1096. It didn't quite hit as TECS popped up a little bit on Friday. We had that rotation out of technology, out of communication services. Again, these are broad technology sector ETFs. And again, we kind of like that a little bit better than just the FANGs. Again, they're heavily weighted. TECL, TECS are heavily weighted to Microsoft and Apple. So, and we can see it's, got upside into the 17. So this, again, would be a short-term swing, short-term scalp, as I expect a late December rotation back into technology for end-of-year window dressing. So I hope that all helps. Okay, next we'll talk about our bullpen stocks. If you're new to our community, the concept of the bullpen stocks are not ones that we're watching real time, but they're ones where I have identified the potential of a good swing trading setup in the near future. We put them in the bullpen. I revisit them at the end of each day. If their setup has improved, then we put them in the game. We move them up to our top swing trading stocks to watch list. If they run away or break down, as we'll see, several of our seasonal trends have manifested, and some of the things we had in the bullpen have run away. So we'll take them out of the bullpen, and we can always revisit them in the future. Grab a quick drink, and we'll review our bullpen stocks for this week. Okay, the first of our bullpen stocks is CPSH. This is an electronic components we've had in the bullpen for some period of time. You can see a quick take due diligence, again, via the bonus link in the notes. And/or I believe that's already been released to our Patreon members again. So if you'd like to hear more about our thesis behind CPSH, why we're watching it, it is profitable, and we'll see it looks like it's trying to form a bottom. And then we're looking for, a nice stable support bottom in CPSH. It's kind of low float, choppy. So if we see that nice stable bottom swing back up, we would go long CPSH. going to take DRN out of our bullpen. Again, several of these seasonal trends that we've been talking about have manifested themselves. The real estate sector as a whole, which is what DRN is, an ETF that's long, leveraged long on the real estate sector, is pretty much run up already. So again, that seasonal trend has manifested. Congratulations to any of our BeachBum traders who have caught these seasonal trends and are profiting from the previous seasonal trends we've identified in real estate and the Russell, etc. So we'll take DRN off. Also, any of these ETFs we can continue to watch and monitor in our ETF Google Sheet. So when that risk reward profile gets more attractive, we can always add it back in. Similarly with JEPI is a dividend payer on the S&P. Again, it's already run up. S&P is, approaching 52-week highs again, and we can always revisit that. And we'll talk about that again in the dividend payers as well. LTC is another REIT on healthcare facilities, senior living, etc. We've been watching for a while. It's been kind of hovering, kind of flat. If we caught a dip, that would be another REIT, dividend-paying REIT that we might get into. Good morning, Walter Lyons. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're doing well. Hope you and your family are having a great Thanksgiving holiday weekend. Again, we've been watching MJ. MJ is an ETF on cannabis. It's one of them. MSOS is another one. We've been watching for a dip and then a catalyst-based swing in MJ. MP Materials we've been watching for a while. Again, kind of missed the previous bounce. If we get a retracement, hopefully we'll catch the next bounce. You can hear our thesis and our previous due diligence, why we like MP Materials, on their rare earth mining, etc., in the link to the previous due diligence video. Another seasonal trend that we were watching was retail. Again, retail's run up. You can hear our previous discussions about when's the best time to buy retail. Obviously, it was before coming into the hot retail sector season, which, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, etc. I am hearing kind of mixed results. In one case, I'm hearing that the retailers are reporting record sales for Black Friday. They're projected to have record sales this year. That's one report. On the other hand, there's some news items saying that the retail sales are a little disappointing. So we'll see if we do get a dip in retail to take advantage of, but in general, it's run up. Again, congratulations if you've caught that seasonal trend and are profiting from it. The other trend was small caps, the Russell. So again, you could hear our video on when's the best time to buy the Russell. It was, before the seasonal trend. Again, TNA is a leverage long on the Russell. And we watch IWM for support bottom for an entry in TNA. The inverse of TNA is TZA. So if the Russell does, make a overly irrational, exuberant run, you can short-term trade the Russell TNA TZA. Thank you for your support, Warren. We appreciate it. Yes, if all of our participants would hit the like button, that always helps the YouTube algorithm share our content with more traders around the world and helps us continue to build our community. And thank you again for everyone in the chat for your support. So we'll look at the charts for our remaining bullpen stocks. Again, I'm using the online browser version of Webull. If you're not already using Webull, you can still get at least six free stocks by opening and funding an account in Webull. And they're also still offering 5% interest on uninvested cash in your cash account. So again, if you're not already using Webull, you can see we use Webull for our market analysis, our due diligence, the majority of our trading. And if you open your account using our affiliate link in the description box below, you can get your 6 free stocks and also help support our BeachBum trading community, which we always appreciate. So again, I'm using the online browser version of Webull. One of the nice features is you can have all kinds of different watch lists. So at the end of the day, I just flip to our Bullpen watch list. I can quickly flip through these stocks in our Bullpen, see if their setup has improved. Here's CPSH, that electronics components company. You can see it had recently dipped pretty severely, bounced back up a little bit. Again, it's quite choppy, so I'd like to see a nice stable bottom. It does look like it's starting to flatten out. So if we get a nice stable bottom, maybe it's oscillating around this pivot point and a swing back up, this might be an attractive low float kind of illiquid small cap, but again, it's got upside up to about 350. Here's LTC. Again, this is the read on senior living, healthcare facilities. You can see it's, just kind of flat, been holding up again, as some of the specialized REITs have been. If we do get a dip down in, in the 30s, that would be attractive. Again, MJ, ETF on cannabis, bounced up on some news of rescheduling cannabis by the DEA. Has gone kind of flat right now. If we do get a dip again, we'd like it down, somewhere in this 280, 264 area, and then wait for another, catalyst based on legislation. Again, short-term scalps, short-term swings. MP Materials, again, you see it bottomed. We had a capitulation, and then it bounced very quickly. Again, unfortunately, I missed that bounce. You see it kind of gapped up the next day. So this guy's difficult to trade. You can see when it bottoms, it tends to bounce pretty quickly. So if you're more nimble than I was, you catch MP, and then it's got plenty of upside up into the 30s. So it's been just kind of trailing out. It does look like that 1450 area is a pretty good bottom. So again, if we just get one, capitulatory dip on MP, we'd like to go long on MP Materials. Okay, in terms of shopping list stocks, again, yesterday we talked about a number of ways to find Cyber Monday stock market deals. Those might be something that you're including in your shopping list. Again, the concept of the shopping list are stocks you wanted to buy, typically some that you want to hold for some length of time. And again, yesterday in our part 1, we identified a number of ways you can screen for Cyber Monday stock market deals. So we'd recommend you view that. Again, our caveats of yesterday apply, as well as, beware of zombie stocks, those that are in debt. Again, we're expecting higher for longer in terms of interest rates. Those that have high debt are, at risk. They're called zombie stocks, and again, or zombie companies. And if you're not familiar with those terms, you can get more information about what that means and how to beware of zombie stocks and zombie companies and zombie ETFs via the previously released videos, via these links in our notes, as well as on our BeachBum Trading YouTube channel. Okay, next we'll talk about dividend payers. So if anyone in the chat has any dividend payers you want to specifically look at, you can throw those tickers up in the chat. I'll bring up our dividend payers Google Sheet. Again, we use this Google Sheet. I go through this Google Sheet at the end of each day, see if there's any dividend payers that look attractive. We check their ex-dividend dates, their adjusted yield, which includes price appreciation, their risk-reward profiles, and you can use this dividend payers Google Sheet to build yourself a schedule of income using these dividend payers that fits your trading style, your risk-reward profile, your income needs. Again, by using this dividend payers Google Sheet, and you can get access 24/7 access to this dividend payers Google Sheet, as well as our ETFs Google Sheet and our puts ROIC, which we use to identify income opportunities using options that we'll look at in a few minutes by joining our Patreon at the All Access or VIP level. So again, if you'd like access to these Google Sheets, as well as all the other advantages, benefits of joining our Patreon, you can join at the All Access or VIP level. We also have a whole series of videos on how this dividend payers Google Sheet works, how it was generated, how you can use it to generate your own schedule of the best dividend paying stocks for you, and you can access that series via the link in our in the notes. So let me grab a drink and we'll jump over to the dividend payers. If anyone again has tickers you'd like to see, I see JEPI, JAPQ, typical ones, NEEE. So we'll take a look at those in our dividend payers Google Sheet. Okay. Hopefully that's not too small, maybe a little bit too small. Somebody in the chat told me if that's too small. So I saw we talked about JEPQ, JEPI, JEPQ. So we can look at those real quickly. You can see JEPI has run up, so the risk reward profile is now pretty balanced. In terms of a 52-week, JEPQ is nearer its high, so it doesn't really have a very attractive. Neither one currently has an attractive risk-reward profile in terms of price appreciation. However, again, you can use these dividend payers, this dividend payers Google Sheet that fits your trading style, your income needs, etc. And if you're looking for stability versus price appreciation, these might be some that are attractive to you. You could see last went ex-dividend on the 1st, so I would expect, around December 1st, it'll go ex-dividend. You can see what the dividend payment is, what that yield is, about 10%. So again, not a whole lot of price appreciation, pretty stable. But again, JEPQ, there's some risk. If we get a correction in the NASDAQ, there's some risk there, and you wouldn't want to lose on the price appreciation. Someone mentioned NEE. I don't have NEE in here. Again, if you have a request to have us look at a different dividend payer, you can always put that in the comments to this video, or you can contact us in our Discord, etc. And we can always look at doing the research on one of these companies. So here's NEE, NextEra Energy. Again, you can use this dividend payers Google Sheet to do your own research on other companies as well. If you just plug the symbol in, it will collect the price data using Google Finance Functions, so we could see, the risk reward profile from a 52-week basis. We could see what the dividend yield is. So it's got a nominal dividend yield of 3.24. It is optionable. Looks like it's, sitting in that narrowing wedge. So then I can plug the dividend yield percent in that column. I plug in the support and resistance. It looks like the 52-week low is the support. Resistance level, I might zoom out a little bit. So it's been, steadily declining. If we pick like that previous high as the resistance level, 69.89. Then we can see what the risk reward profile looks like, what kind of risk reward we get for support to resistance. Again, it's not, the 2 that I would like. I can come back and do the bottoms and tops, which is, again, much longer term. Look at the dividends. So again, another enhancement recently in FinViz was they added the dividend payment information. So we can see its ex-dividend on the 22nd at 0.468. Pays quarterly. So again, you can see again how you can use this Google Sheet again to do your own research on further stocks. Again, the nominal dividend yield's pretty low, 3%. Does have some price appreciation. The risk reward's pretty balanced. So again, I wouldn't necessarily be looking at NEE for a swing at this time. And again, it looks like it's in this narrowing wedge, so we'll have to see if that resolves to the upside or downside. So again, the risk reward profile is pretty balanced. It's not one I would be particularly interested in at this time, although if it does, stabilize back down at that lower area, and it is and this is a utility. So again, we saw utilities have currently run up. So I hope that helps. So again, if you have a request to do research like this, you can do it yourself in our Google Sheet, or if you'd like me to do it, just put it in the comments to the video or contact us in the Discord, etc. I saw treasuries. People mentioned treasuries. So we have a number of dividend payers for treasuries, TLT, TLTW. We've talked about these for weeks. The upward trend in treasuries. So we have seen treasuries recover a bit. Prices recover. Yields are down to 4.4. So if you're looking for a dividend payer, you can compare TLT, TLTW. They're monthly. Looks like they ex-dividend at the beginning of the month. You can see what their nominal dividend payment is, what their yield is, and also what the adjusted yield is in terms of risk reward profile. So you can choose the one that best fits your income needs as well as your risk reward profile. So I'm glad to hear that. And says Sydney Osborne saved me money on OCI. So again, we strive to help you make money trading, save money trading. We're glad to hear that. Please share that with your fellow traders and friends. Let's encourage them to come, and hopefully we can help them make money trading, help them save money, avoid risky positions. Just a note, one I've been looking at a little bit is this TSLY. This is one of those yield maxes on Tesla, and I was comparing the price action of this TSLY to the price action of Tesla, and it doesn't look like this TSLY really follows the price action of Tesla, so something to keep an eye out on in terms of those yield maxes or some of the other ETFs based on something, another stock or another theme. Is you want to see that it's not depreciating, not deteriorating, and that it's basically following the price action of the underlying. So I'm going to continue to keep an eye on that, see if there's an opportunity in some of those yield maxes, but just an observation that I hope helps you as well. So again, if I missed the ticker, somebody put in the chat for a dividend payer, you can throw it back up there. I'll quickly point out some of the ones we've talked about. So land, we talked about GLDI, SLBO as opportunities to generate income on gold and silver, also USOI on oil. Talked about if oil does break down below 70 or so, I would be interested in a long in USOI, longing oil with USOI. Again, here you can see the dividend information on land. Looks like its next ex-dividend date is December 16th. Again, doesn't pay a real high dividend, but again, you can see the adjusted yield, the risk-reward profiles. Here's LTC. Again, pays 19 cents monthly. Again, more opportunity. It's about 7% more opportunity in price appreciation. Realty income. Again, next ex-dividend date's December 1st. So it pays 26 cents. Again, it's run up a little bit, but we like O. I know other people, Easy Mike, etc., like SAR. Again, if you're looking for relative stability, etc., it pays 11% quarterly. So you can see the risk reward profile of SAR. Talked about the treasuries. Also, I talked about USOI. So you can see, again, this is an ETN. It pays a monthly dividend, pretty attractive monthly dividend on oil. Again, right now, the risk-reward profile isn't the greatest. I'd again, prefer oil down, around 70, get USOI in the 60s. But again, very nice monthly dividend on oil. MD mentioned BNS. That's not one I'm familiar with either. We'll see if it's in here. I doubt it. Nope. Okay, so it's a Canadian bank. It's showing 7%. Again, I'm not particularly excited about the financials, the banks, etc. If you're interested in that, again, you can plug the data into our Google Sheet and see what kind of price appreciation might be added to that 7% dividend. Again, you can see it last paid in October. Looks like it's quarterly, 78 cents. So again, if you'd like to do further research on that, you can use our Google Sheet or let me know if you'd like us to do it for you. Brian Moritz says SBAC. Again, not one I'm familiar with offhand. Not one we have in here. Okay, so that's a REIT. That's kind of interesting. pretty small dividend. So 85 cents on November 15th, 85 cents. So it looks relatively stable, looks like quarterly. Okay, so this looks like it's real estate investment trust, wireless. So it looks like one of these tower REITs. Yeah. So it looks like, cell towers. There are a number of these. So again, you can plug that into our Google Sheet and see if that's something that you might be interested in. It does look like it's reaching its resistance point and getting some rejection from that resistance point. So the risk reward profile right now might not be as attractive. And again, the nominal dividend's pretty low. So I hope that helps. Again, you can plug that into our Google Sheet, or again, if you'd like me to do further due diligence on that, just let me know. Okay, so again, if I missed your ticker, let me know. We can always come back to our dividend payers and take a look at any others. Again, you can always put in the comments any tickers you'd like us to do research on. You could tag us in our Discord. Again, our Discord is free to join, with the exception of a few channels that I mentioned that are for our Patreons. And so you can always ask us questions 24/7 in our Discord. Try to respond as we're able. Our tag is BeachBum Trading. No pounds, no numbers, no other symbols. So also, you can find links to all of our social media sites in the links section of our homepage, which is beachbumtrading.com, bum without the U. So you can always contact us directly via any of our social media sites as well. Okay, let me grab a quick drink and we'll talk about our option strategies. We'll look at our puts ROIC Google Sheet, see if there's any opportunities for generating income using options. And we have a couple option strategies we use to also generate additional income while we wait for our swing trading setups to manifest. We sell covered calls against our existing positions when the stock's going up, buy them back when it's coming down. We sell puts on identified opportunities, in our case, cash secured puts, when stocks are going down, buy them back when it's going back up. And we use our puts ROIC Google Sheet to help us identify those opportunities to sell puts. So again, if you would like to use this to help you identify opportunities to sell or buy back puts, you can get access to our puts ROIC Google Sheet also, and our dividend payers, ETFs, etc., by joining our Patreon at the all access or VIP level. You can see our criteria above, how we select puts to buy. You can also see how we've developed this and how we use this puts ROIC Google Sheet in the option strategies for beginners with examples series in our YouTube channel and via the link in the notes. Also, we have additional videos in our options YouTube playlist about how to sell covered calls, how to in E-Trade, Webull, how to sell puts, etc. So we hope that all helps. I'm going to go through this pretty quickly because with the VIX down, essentially the premiums are not terribly attractive, so we're not identifying a lot of opportunities with, above a 5% ROIC, which is what we're looking for to compete with what we're making just sitting on the cash in our brokerage account. So again, you saw Weeble's paying 5%, Fidelity's paying about 5%. So unless we see an opportunity, that's got an ROIC of 5% or more, it's not terribly attractive. You can use this Google Sheet also for short-term options trading. You can see what's moving down in red, or moving down in green, moving back up in red. You can see the pricing, and the gray columns again are automated systems collect that data and update it at the end of each day. So again, you can use this for shorter-term options trading. And there aren't a whole lot of opportunities. Albemarle, again, showing a little, but it's less than 2%. Dollar Tree, again, very low ROIC. And really, there aren't a whole lot. Again, the premiums are pretty low with the VIX down as far as it is. But again, every day our systems will collect and update this data. I spin through this every day. And then I also look for additional opportunities using this option seller ROI tool. So again, you can find that in the tools sheet in our puts ROIC Google Sheet. So we hope that all helps. Again, if you'd like us to do research on an option, just contact us, put it in the comments, etc. With the ticker, the expiration date, the price, etc., strike price, etc. We can plug it in, have our automated systems collect that data, and then you can find it in our puts ROIC Google Sheet. Okay. I wanted to get to this question while we still have a little bit of time. Alan Krantz yesterday in the live chat for part 1 asked a question that I apologize, Alan Krantz, that I missed it yesterday, but I thought this would be useful. As he asked, what ETF do we have in Argentina? I saw several people discussing Argentina stocks yesterday. And so I want to show you a few different ways that you can find ETFs and individual stocks for a particular country, like in this case, Argentina. I guess the news was a new president was elected, and that caused a pop in Argentina. So I want to go through a couple different ways that you can identify an ETF and, again, individual stocks in a particular country. So I'm going to start with the ETF database, and I'm going to go to the screener. You can use these direct links in our notes. You can also find a link to the ETF database in the links section on our homepage. So again, if I jump directly to the ETF screener, which you can find under the tools in the ETF database, and I say I want to find an ETF that's based on equity, and I want to see, you can select a region or a country. So if we find Central America, or Latin America, I find Argentina. We see there's only one that's listed, so I can select that region, and we see it comes up with this ARGT. So then I can select that, and we'll go to the actual profile for this ETF ARGT. So right now, this is the only ETF directly related to Argentina. It's a long. You can see the holdings for that particular ETF. You can see how it's weighted. So it's market cap weighted, vanilla, broad-based. You can look at the holdings. I saw several people mention that they were playing Argentina using MELI, Mercado Libre. So that's obviously, and it has a heavy weighting in this ETF. So you can see other stocks weight and their weightings in this ETF by using this screener. So that's one way to find an ETF for a particular country, is by selecting the country or region using the ETF database screener. So I hope that helps. So another way using the ETF database is another tool called the ETF Country Exposure Tool. which again you can find under the tools, ETF country exposure tool. So if you're looking for ETFs that have exposure to a particular country, you could scroll down. We can see Argentina. So now we get a list of over 100 different ETFs, and they're weighting based on their exposure to Argentina. So again, our ARGT is the highest weighted one, but you can see a number of other ETFs that have some exposure to Argentina. So then you can dig into those in more detail and pick the ones that has the type of exposure to a particular country that you would like. So again, a couple different ways to find ETFs. Either directly based on a country or with exposure to stocks in a particular country. Another way I find both ETFs and stocks directly related to a particular country is just by putting that country in the search bar in FinBiz. So pretty much any page in FinBiz you can enter. I just entered Argentina. You can see it will come up with first those that have Argentina in their name, and then those that have Argentina somewhere in their profile. So we can see that ARGT comes up right away as the top listing, and then you can identify the industry. In this case, again, this is an ETF, so that's another way to find ETFs for a particular country. And then we see a couple others, some banks, metal and mining, building materials, telecom, all directly, with Argentina in their name. If you want to look at all of the stocks with Argentina in their profile, you can just right click and open a screener, and then you can filter this down further. You can see some of these are based in Chile, some in the US, but they have Argentina somewhere in their profile. So again, then you can filter that down based on the industry or other criteria, profitability, PE, etc. So again, a number of ways you can find ETFs and stocks based on a particular country. So we'll look at that ARGT. You can see it's run up. I guess that was the news on that election. So you can see it does pay a small dividend. It's optionable. See its definition. All Argentina 2050 index. 80% of it's and American ADRs, so it's ADRs foreign stocks. So you can see it's run up quite a ways on that election. It's pretty high, so might get a correction. Big gap jump at this point. I did plug this into the research tab in our ETFs Google Sheet, so we can also see the risk reward profile. For that ARGT. So again, now you can find this Argentina ETF ARGT in the research tab of our ETF Google Sheet. You can see it doesn't really have a whole lot of room to run at this point. It's pretty high. It's 52-week high. It's 49.31. That was the top, so it's making a new high. So we'll have to see how much higher can it go. So a lot more risk at this point than potential reward. As you saw, we didn't identify any ETFs that allow you to short Argentina. So of course, this is shortable, so you could short the ETF. You could also look at those individual stocks like Mercado Libre, etc. if you wanted to risk shorting. But again, pretty exuberant run in Argentina right now, so shorting might be pretty risky. So again, I hope that answers your question, Alan, and helps everyone. Again, we'll leave that ETF in the research tab in our Google Sheet. So again, we can monitor it there. But again, since the risk reward profile doesn't really fit our desired factor 2 risk reward right now, we'll just leave it in the research tab, and you can always find that as well as other ETFs on other countries that we've done research on in the past. And again, we hope that all helps. Okay, so if anyone else has any other tickers you'd like to look at, any other topics you'd like to discuss, if I missed your question previously in the chat, I apologize. Please throw it back up there. Grab a quick drink, and I can address any last-minute questions from the chat. Easy Mike is mentioning BIL. I know BIL is a dividend payer, so you can see the profile for BIL in our dividend payers Google sheet. Monthly dividend payer pays 41 cents. See, right now it's this is one of those that it's a monthly based on T-bills. So you can see every month when it goes ex-dividend, it kind of drops down, and it goes up during the course of the month. Not a lot of price appreciation, 40-cent price appreciation, but it pays that 40-cent dividend. So on ex-dividend, it's going to drop again. And you see it oscillates every month. So if you want to, buy that when it goes ex-dividend, becomes cheap, and then ride it up right before it goes ex-dividend, you can compare the price appreciation to the actual dividend paid. So, and again, it looked pretty stable. Previously, we did a video on a number of those treasury bond based ETFs, and you can find the others, float, etc., T-float, also in the research tab. Here's several others, TFLO, FLOT. So again, you can find the risk reward profiles and the dividend information for those as well in the ad sheet. So I hope that helps. So again, let us know of anything else that you'd like us to research similarly. We can add those to our Google Sheets. We can look at them in future weekly trading game plans. Also, we'd love your feedback on anything we can do to improve our weekly trading game plan videos, any of our videos, our content, our Google Sheets, our communities, etc. Please let us know what can we do to add more value for all of our fellow BeachBum traders. So again, you can put that in the comments to the videos in our Discord, contact us via social media, etc. And we'll do what we can to continue to grow and improve our BeachBum trading community for the mutual benefit of everyone. If you're not already subscribed to our channel, our YouTube channel, we hope you will choose to subscribe. We hope you'll smash the like button on this video and share it with your fellow traders and friends. Welcome, Mad Max. Thank you for joining us. And we hope that you have a great trading week, November 27th through 12th. And we hope you'll come back next weekend for our weekly trading game plan. So we hope you and your family have a great rest of your Thanksgiving holiday weekend and a great trading week next week.